Hello and welcome to the Module 5 Day 2 video lecture in which we're going to talk about the text for Project 2 because we focused on the visuals and creating those and ideas. And now you're probably wondering, what am I going to write about concerning these visuals? And that's why we're talking today. So we're going to go over some concepts that'll help you understand the assignments and then So with Project 2, you're not looking to recommend any solutions. Think of it more as it's an informative report about the issue, in particular the data sets associated with the issue. So your boss knows about the larger data set and that it's so large and abstract. They want to know what's important to your company and your stakeholders that you can condense for them in a 2-3 page report and highlight their interest with these visuals. Project 2 will feature a total of 3 images that you must create based off numerical data, maybe text-based data or something different, but we'll get to that. And then once you have your 3 images, you have to caption them properly. Each visualization should feature a name, figure 1, 2, and 3. And these names should be openly referred to in the text, and they should also be found in the caption so that they match. Each visualization should aid in the story you're trying to tell, meaning the visualization should be distinct from the other and they should complement your text. So we can see on the screen, we have 3 images. Only one of them has a caption, but it is a proper caption and it starts with the proper title, figure 2. Then the other 2 images would just require similar captions, figure 1 and 3. So when constructing text to complement or go alongside your figures for your report, consider starting with a topic sentence, and you can borrow language from the subheader to help you. Then introduce the figure in a second sentence, follow up with another sentence or 2 where you're discussing some of the numbers and the trends. Analyze the import of the numbers to close out this paragraph, meaning what does the stats or the text-based data, what does it mean in a larger context? What can you infer about the data that your stakeholder, your boss might find interesting? So if we look at what's on the screen, the gender diversity in the community, that first subheader section, it's following that pattern of topic sentence, introduce the figure, discuss some of the numbers, trends, and it ends with an inference about that particular point. Altogether, the population is almost equally divided by men and women, but there is indeed a slight difference. So it's more conversational, but it's still kind of inferring or observing something about the data, and that's a great way to end a paragraph that features a visual. If you reviewed the assignment details for Project 2, you'll notice it specifies a purpose statement. This can be a complex sentence, but it should still quickly convey purpose. Why is the audience reading the report? Why should they be interested? It should also expand clearly on the 3 subtopics you're going to explore in the report. We can see on the screen the 3 subtopics that are highlighted in the sample purpose statement: gender, background, and racial makeup. That guides what the writer is going to convey in their report. Those are their 3 colorful subheaders throughout. So for another example, if you choose the birth rate data set and you decide to focus on mothers and post-birth experiences. Your 3 subtopics may include something similar to the 3 that you see on the screen. Ultimately, the subtopics you choose should be related to the data sets. In turn, the subtopics will shape the sorts of visualizations you're going to wish to depict and for what purpose. And how can you build a strong purpose statement? You can practice using the formula on the screen. You start with the context. So that's just maybe a signal phrase or some contextualizing statement to start the sentence rather than, I mean, you can start with the purpose of this report is, that's a default, it's fine to use it. What's your topic? What is it about? You might want to mention a locale, a location to help narrow your focus, your topic. You don't have to. And then you end with what are your 3 areas that you're describing for this larger umbrella topic? What are your subtopics? We look again at that student sample purpose statement. We can see they followed the formula. They included the purpose statement at the end of their introduction. They ended with 3 subtopics, so their intent throughout the report will be very clear. The purpose statement is your rudder, and it will guide the entire report in the direction that you want. Use the formula, the aforementioned formula, to help you. Information that seems harder to quantify, like words or numbers, can also be represented and analyzed in a visual way, as we've already discussed. This sort of quantification or visualization adds to the understanding of text and visuals in new ways. So for example, the report on the screen, it is sans visuals, it's just text. Stripped down, it's bare bones. And then on the flip side is the same report with design elements in mind, with visuals and color to complement the text. Essentially, the visuals that you are creating are going to help tell your story. Colors, having a color scheme that's going to add to the appeal of the overall document. If it helps to complete the project, pretend as though you work for a company. They believe in your topic, in the information in your data set, and you're putting forth an educational report to circulate internally to the company for the purposes of maybe being distributed publicly, but you're not worried about that too much. Thus, you're going to want to appeal to your boss. You're catering to this audience that's invested. So they're people that care about your topic. And this is going to impact the tone and the visuals that will capture the interest of your boss. But what about the other way around? If we took that same report and we had just the visuals, what would it look like then? We can see it on the screen, but what sort of story is it sharing then with just the visuals? This is how a student submitted their rough draft to me one semester. They only had visuals. There's no text. So it was lacking in detail according to the assignment objectives. However, it still conveys some purpose. They have that header there. They have the subheaders throughout. But it's overall lacking in audience and document design. And it's also lacking in ethos. It doesn't have a works cited or reference page. I mean, it doesn't have any text to explain why the visuals are relevant to the topic and how they can be interpreted with some detail to help the reader along. Use the assignment guidelines when drafting your rough draft to avoid submitting just text or just visuals. You have to attempt to marry both of these things to submit a successful rough draft. my class, you can use information already gathered in discussion posts, in class, or online work to create your draft. With the image design analysis assignment, that means you've already got one image and text you've created. You may have a draft purpose statement ready after using the formula, either in class or for my online classes, you practice it from the formula you just saw. And then from the outline assignment last week, you have a description of the data set, which that could help you jumpstart your introduction that comes before that purpose statement. Password for this video lecture for this week, module 5, day 2 assignment that asks for it is Ready Player 2. It's a great book, a follow-up to a great, well, an okay written book and a better movie. Anyway, so we're going to review Canvas to clear up any confusion with upcoming assignments. Exit out of here. So we're in week 5, and you should review the day 1 concepts on your own. Either you were in class and you got help on that score, and then for my face-to-face courses, this was an assignment, Introduction to Data Visualizations, that originally it was in week 4, but I meant to move it to week 5. For my online classes, you should have already completed Introduction to Data Visualization, so you're not going to see it here in week 5. If you're confused, you can shoot me an email, but my online and face-to-face classes will see this module differently a little bit. At any rate, we're on the day 2 stuff. Understanding concepts reviews a lot of what I just talked about. Stuff to do with the purpose statement, text-based versus visual report, captioning images, also some technical stuff to consider. How can you make your images pop a little bit? And that means you would right-click them. And when you right-click an image in Microsoft Word, or here sometimes it gives you options on how to style your image in a different way, and you find one that's not maybe too obnoxious, or even just a drop shadow box to make it pop a little bit, or maybe you need a bold outline around it, whatever works for you, so that it's not just flat and we can see the difference there, and that's why that's there. And also to remind you that you have the visual and you need to caption it for a reason, so that you've labeled it figure 1, 2, or 3, and you talk about it in the text openly and why it's relevant. And then about wrapping the text around your image, and here's a link if you don't know how to do that. So those are important things to really dive into concerning understanding concepts. And then we have the actual draft of the project. Reviewing the project instructions will help you immensely. And then essentially, you can copy and paste that. Pull up your, well, let's see here. Pull up your template, knowing that I don't care about MLA or APA, but maybe this is just your go-to because this is what you work from, and it's what I work from when I'm showing you guys stuff here. This is really your outline for creating the entire report. You know that you need an introduction paragraph, maybe relaying the import of the topic, and then your introduction should end with a purpose statement that lists your 3 subtopics. And then you're gonna have your visuals and your 3 subtopics. You're gonna use headers to cut up your report, and you're gonna convey the meaning of each of those visuals. You're gonna cap it off with a conclusion. So you can use this as you're typing your stuff out. And then I want you to go and take your text and look for a report template of some kind to attempt to make it a little bit pretty. You don't have to worry too much about beyond that, but I do want you to think about some kind of template you could use. And again, Microsoft Word has some free ones. You could also visit canva.com and type in report and see the ones that come up. But don't worry about making it beautiful, flawless. Mostly worry about, do I have the text that I need? Do I have my 3 visuals? Do I have the text that I need? Do I have the visuals that go alongside of it? Did I attempt to caption them properly? Did I attempt to wrap the text around it rather than just having them all above or below? Or sometimes that works out. I don't know. You can find what works for you. I want you to just attempt some of the design elements without making it perfect, because a rough draft is not meant to be perfect, but it does mean that you tried what I expect of you, and I expect all of the text, and I expect all of the 3 visuals to be there. And the visuals cannot be 3 of the same, although you can have 2 visuals that you created and maybe 1 that you got from Wiki Commons or you got from Pixabay, somewhere where it's copyright free image and the image matters to your topic. Somewhere on your report, you're going to include the password Ready Player 2. And then just another checklist you can go through when you're submitting your draft. Before you submit, you're submitting it to USF Rights. There's a student sample you can review. It's one we've already looked at together. I think it's the 1917 one. Remembering not to plagiarize any of it. You won't like your grade if you do, or the rest of that outcome. And I don't care about MLA or APA formatting. How I'm going to grade the assignment, a rubric is right there. Submitting it to the peer review forum if you're my online class, or just a reminder for my face-to-face classes to print it out and bring it to class. And that this draft is 50 points. You're not submitting it here, you're submitting it to USF Rights. There is also extra credit tutoring via TutorMe or the USF Writing Studio online or in person, taking a screenshot of the confirmation. And one more extra credit opportunity, a midterm survey. It's a survey I created for y'all. You click the link here. You keep this window open though, because you're going to return to it. I'm going to have to, oh no, this is the correct one. So you tell me which class you're in and you answer all these questions. And when you're done, you're going to hit submit. And then it's going to, a box will pop up with another password of sorts. You can copy and paste the password, just remember it, and then come type it into the text entry box on this assignment to get your 5 points. So you need to input the password for the survey to get the 5 points because it's anonymous and I won't know you took it unless you do the password part. So I can grade it. That is it for this week, for week 5. So if you have any questions, email or WhatsApp me way before the due date. If you email or WhatsApp me Sunday, I may or may not respond. And if you Canvas email me, you can see I have some emails there. I'm the slowest to respond in that format, unfortunately, because I have to log in and it's a process. So these are the quickest ways to get in touch with me. Please utilize them and have a good rest of your week.